Tension among the opposition parties that emerged after their failure to work together in the election of the parliament speaker has deepened after Republican People's Party, CHP, candidate Deniz Baykal claimed on Monday that the Nationalist Movement Party, MHP, had promised to support him in the last round of voting, but did not keep its promise. The election of the parliament speaker resulted in the Justice and Development Party, AK Party, candidate winning the post last Wednesday. The AK Party candidate for Speaker, İsmet Yılmaz, was elected after the minority parties in the country's legislature failed to unite behind a common candidate. Speaking during a live TV interview with CNN Turk's Ahmet Hakan on Monday night, CHP Antalya deputy Baykal, who was the CHP candidate for the post of parliament speaker, claimed that deputy chairman of the MHP parliamentary group Yusuf Halaçoğlu met with CHP parliamentary group deputy chairman Levent Gök before the third round of voting in the election. Halaçoğlu allegedly promised Gök that the MHP would allow its deputies to vote as they pleased in the fourth and final round of voting, rather than according to the party's view, so that they could vote for CHP candidate Baykal. As Baykal reported during the TV interview, Halaçoğlu allegedly told Gök, "There is no problem. We can celebrate the victory of Baykal in the last round of voting. Baykal can be elected, because we will set the deputies free in the last round." Yılmaz received 258 votes out of a total of 547. His only rival, Baykal of the CHP, garnered 182 votes, apparently receiving support from both the CHP and about 50 deputies of the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, HDP. The CHP has 132 seats in parliament, while the HDP has 80. MHP leader Devlet Bahçeli announced earlier last Wednesday, when the last round of voting was held, that MHP deputies would cast blank ballots in the final round of voting, which they later did unless the MHP candidate appeared in the final round. Following Baykal's claims, Halaçoğlu called into the TV program and firmly denied Baykal's claims, saying that he never told Gök that the MHP deputies would be released during the final round. "Mr. Levent came to me, and I told him that we MHP will support Ekmel İmamoğlu, the MHP candidate for parliament speaker. I asked him to talk the issue over with Mr. Devlet," said Halaçoğlu, adding, "Either Mr. Levent misquoted my words or an unethical situation is possible. We Halaçoğlu and Gök were never involved in a conversation like that." After Halaçoğlu, Gök also called into the same program and responded to Halaçoğlu's statements. Recalling that MHP leader Bahçeli had said last Tuesday, the day before the last round of voting, if the HDP supports Deniz Baykal tomorrow, we will not vote for Baykal. Gök claimed that Halaçoğlu told him that they had misunderstood Bahçeli's statement about HDP support, and that if the pro-Kurdish HDP did not announce their support for Baykal publicly before the last round of voting, there would be no problem left that would prevent the MHP from supporting the CHP candidate in the last round. However, this did not happen, despite the HDP never publicly voicing support for Baykal. Gök further said that he went to HDP deputies Pervin Buldan and Deniz Baykal following his meeting with Halaçoğlu, and requested that they be respectful of the MHP's sensitivity about the publicity of HDP support for Baykal, and they accepted this request. MHP's Halaçoğlu calls CHP a religious party. Halaçoğlu also held a press conference in Parliament on Tuesday, repeating his denials of Baykal's claims. Halaçoğlu said of Baykal's candidacy, "If we had supported Baykal, the public would then criticize us strongly. With the AK party's words, people would say, 'You elected a man from an irreligious party, the CHP.'" He further claimed that it was not the MHP which presented the post of parliament speaker to the AK party as is claimed, but the CHP that gave the post to the AK party. Asking why the CHP did not support MHP candidate İmamoğlu, who was the two opposition parties' joint candidate for the presidential election held in August of last year, Halaçoğlu said, if they wanted a candidate from the opposition to be the parliament speaker, they could support İmamoğlu. Actually, it was the CHP which helped İsmet Yılmaz get elected, not the MHP. Halaçoğlu's words calling the CHP irreligious inflamed another source of tension between the two opposition parties. Lashing out at Halalu's comment, CHP Parliamentary Group Deputy Chairman Engin Altay said, "It is not anyone's business to question the CHP's religious affiliations or its faith. It is shameless and insolent." Saying that no one has the right to measure the degree of another's belief, Altay said that showing making the CHP look as though it is a party with a lack of faith is immoral behavior. Baykal says he refused to meet with Erdogan at Aksaray. During the same TV interview, Baykal also gave some details about his meeting with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan that was held at the Foreign Ministry residence in Ankara's Kankia district, rather than the presidential palace, known as Aksaray, upon Baykal's request. About his much-debated meeting with Erdogan on June 10, Baykal said he was called by officials from Erdogan's office late on June 9 while he was at his Antalya home and was told about Erdogan's request for a meeting to exchange views on the post-election process. Baykal said he should first ask his party chairman, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. They said, "Of course." I also told them that the meeting should be announced on Erdogan's official schedule and they said okay. When they said the meeting should take place at Erdogan's office, I told them it should be somewhere else. They said maybe, Baykal said. The CHP politician said he immediately called Kılıçdaroğlu after the phone call, trying 3 times, but could not reach him. Noting that he was only able to reach the CHP chairman early in the morning, after presidential officials had called him for the second time to get his response, Baykal said Kılıçdaroğlu's first statement in response was about the venue for the meeting. "It should not take place at Aksaray," Kılıçdaroğlu told me. "Don't worry, it will not," I told him, Baykal added. Legal and political controversies surrounding the vast presidential complex called Aksaray lie behind Baykal's objection. The presidential palace was constructed on the most important green area in Ankara, the Ataturk Forestry Farm, AOK. It is at the center of swirling debates inside and outside of Turkey for its cost as well as because the work went on despite court verdicts requiring the construction be stopped.